everything I told him until parent-teacher conferences rolled around. Overall, Nate here has been doing a great job in my class, but your son plays way too much video games. What? How could he? Why is he saying this? Betrayal! Ah! And it's best as parents that you have him read more instead of playing video games all the time. I didn't say a word until we got home, worried for my life that my parents would ban me from video games forever.
You know what? You're a good kid. The least you can do is build dirt huts on Minecraft in your free time.
And look at me now! Take that, Mr. Silver! Now, when you think of horrible teachers, you might picture someone who screams and shouts and traumatizes their students. That's what I thought too, until I met my 7th grade science teacher, Mr. Ernie, who was actually just horrible at teaching. Alrighty class, today we're learning about the elements. Pull out your notebooks. Bill Nye here will teach you everything you need to know. Okay, I'm gonna go take a nap. I kid you not. Bill Nye was more of a teacher to me than Mr. Ernie that year. You know how some teachers will reward students with movie days? Mr. Ernie's class was movie day every day. And as the year went on, we graduated from Bill Nye to watching Neil deGrasse Tyson movies, which Mr. Ernie called a more advanced way of learning. By the end of every movie, our notebooks were crammed with notes, and Mr. Ernie was fast asleep at his desk. In order to make up for his poor teaching, Ernie not only allowed open note test, hope you paid attention to frickin' Bill Nye, but also went through each question one by one with the class before we started. Starting at question number 1, what is H2O? You know what? I forgot to teach you guys this one. It's water. Once this process had been completed, I already had over 50% of my answers correctly filled in. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, Ernie let us grade our own tests. Not only did he share all of the correct answers with us while we graded, but this basically gave everyone a free pass to quickly change their answers whenever he wasn't looking. Let's just say I got 100% on every test in that class. An A+ science student. Yet I still don't know if water is wet. Unlike most teachers, Mr. Ernie was absent an unusual amount. Honestly, I have no idea how he kept his job. And when he wasn't there, which was like half the time, we were left with a substitute teacher that would show up time after time, Mr. Wolf. Everything about this guy resembled the physical embodiment of his last name. White and gray stubble hair, bipolar depending on whether the moon was full or not, and even growled at students. Okay, class, as instructed by your teacher, Mr. Ernie, we will be watching how gravity was created by Neil deGrasse Tyson. But I swear, if I hear one peep of noise from any of you while watching this film, you know what? We'll cross that bridge once we get there. Okay, enjoy the movie. Oh wait, did I forget to mention the part where this guy constantly did walking handstands around the class? It didn't take long being serenaded by the dulcet tones of Neil deGrasse Tyson before my head started to bob in my chair. I had to stay awake. So I started a game of paper football with my friends at our table, which of course happened to be right next to the teacher's desk. Yes! Let's go. Take that, you chump. Psst. Do you guys hear that? Uh-oh. On full moons, I can still hear him howling. I didn't think things could get any stranger than Mr. Wolf until I met Mrs. Canyon, my 9th grade math teacher. She was one of those teachers where older students who had her before would warn you to never set foot in her classroom. Upon arrival on my first day in Mrs. Canyon's class, our phones were immediately confiscated in her basket. I already hated this class. Psh, screenager. Shut up. Let me doom scroll in peace.
Got a low taper face. Cristiano Ronaldo, suey.
After finding my seat, my classmates and I all began looking around at each other, knowing how unlucky we were that we got stuck with Mrs. Canyon for the rest of the year. But it wasn't just her rules or the way she carried herself that made Mrs. Canyon terrifying. It was her appearance. More specifically, her eyes. Unlike most teachers who use their voices to control a classroom, Mrs. Canyon's staring did all of the talking. She would simply stand there, sweeping her gaze across the room as you could feel her stare burn into the back of your head. And before long, you'd snap back to attention, only to be greeted with a face of, "I'm silently judging you." After countless staring contests with Medusa, there came a day when things escalated between the two of us. It was test day, and these equations were not easy, okay? What do you mean I'm supposed to graph the function of x2 plus 4x plus 3 and find its vertex, axis of symmetry, and intercepts? It wasn't long before Mrs. Canyon noticed my struggle from across the classroom, as she went ahead and made herself comfortable standing over my desk, and proceeded to comment on my intelligence. "You're going to want to check your answer for question 3 again." Now, this wasn't a whisper by any means. More so "Hey class, this guy sucks at math." Feeling embarrassed, I was barely saved by the lunch bell. My math class was split into 2 parts, where we had a break for lunch in the middle. Sitting there in the cafeteria, I couldn't shake the humiliation ritual bestowed upon me by Mrs. Canyon. I couldn't even eat. My thoughts were racing. This is my chance to prove her wrong. I'm not just some clueless kid struggling with quadratic equations and vertices. Whatever the heck. Those even are. I can figure this out. I can crush this test. With my confidence restored, I marched back into the classroom, preparing for my grand comeback that would leave Mrs. Canyon speechless. Where is my test? "Oh, my dear boy, your brain is like wet clay. In my classroom, if you don't finish your test before lunch, it gets turned in as is. You snooze, you lose." My stomach plummeted. Panic set in as I scanned the room, noticing other students looking just as confused. Their test mysteriously missing too. It wasn't just me. Mrs. Canyon had snatched them all like some kind of math gremlin. But I wasn't about to let this slide. The humiliation, the stares of judgment, and now this? I had enough. "Mrs. Canyon, this is completely unfair." "Oh, the clay brain speaks. Life's unfair, my dear boy. Get used to it." "Huh? Clay brain? You know what? Maybe if you had a brain, you wouldn't need to glare at us with those soulless, judgmental eyes all the time." No, wait, please, Mrs. Canyon, I was just making a joke. Just kidding. See? Just let me retake the test, okay? Please. And from that day forward, her and I were sworn enemies. Mrs. Canyon, if you're watching this, I have one thing to say to you. Honestly though, looking back, I guess those experiences like dealing with bad tempers, being betrayed, and being thwarted helped me develop a very important life skill. Knowing exactly who I do and do not like, and how to deal with them. So maybe I should be thanking them. Yeah, no, let's not go that far. But now that I've graduated, I'm free from the reins of horrible teachers. I can finally sleep soundly at night. No, please let me retake my test. Please, it was just a joke, I promise. Just please, give me one more shot. Hi everyone, I hope you guys enjoyed the video just as much as I enjoyed making it. Before you leave, make sure to like and subscribe, and to go down and support.
Cards can pop balloons, cut through celery, and fit into super small spaces. Today we're going to walk you through the process of making 10 card throwing trick shots in just over a day. Let's start with the easiest. Considering Matthew is automatic with bottle flips and Rick is the best card thrower in the world, this was pretty easy for us, so we gave it a level 10. Rick, can you take the sticker off of this apple?
You ready?
You're probably surprised to see this is only level 20, but we've got a ton of cool shots ahead. Rick has to knock off the cup before I score the ping pong ball. He gave me a ton of chances, but of course one of the few times he missed, the ping pong ball would have gone in. But we made up for it the next attempt.
That was great.
For this one, the card has to hit the ball at the perfect speed and angle for it to bounce off right. It's amazing that Rick can make this look so easy.
Look at the bend from where it hit the ball.
I call that the ricochet.
Remember this card throwing bridge? Well, this is version 2.0. This ball does not go into that cup. You're gonna have to make a long bridge out of cards. Okay, I think that's gonna work. Down the rim, onto the cards, and boom! Okay, so you made the card into the book, but the question is, what page number do you think it was?
37.
37.
I have no idea where it is.
We have no... It was! Spoiler alert, this wasn't first try, but we did